Are you seeing this right now? Mama got a new toy. What's up, warriors? It is January 27th. I believe it is Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday. And it's the end of January. It's almost February. It's that crappy time of year where it's cold. I'm cold in my own home, hence the scarf. And it just seems like whether you're on a diet or not, all we want to do is just curl up and eat that warm, cozy comfort food. You'll probably notice in my upcoming videos that I'm no longer eating my ginormous salads that I absolutely love because it is freaking cold out there and I don't want a salad when it's cold. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but it sucks out there, and to go from the cold to eat cold, that's not my thing right now. I've been craving something really warm, something cozy, something comforting. And I am dieting right now. I am preparing to compete. I don't have a date yet. I don't have a show picked out, but I know that I do want it to happen in the spring, summer season. So I gotta make do with my macros. And my macros are currently very high fat, moderate protein, and well, high moderate protein, and pretty low to no carb. I am following a flexible approach to a keto diet, basically. I pretty much choose to eat clean foods most of the time because I just feel better when I eat them. I look better when I eat them. I'm not bloated, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's my prerogative. That's not to say that you have to do it too. But I know there are some of you out there who are either dieting or who are trying to make do with poverty macros, or even just in terms of portion control or trying to make things work with our day-to-day lives, get those micronutrients in, etc., etc. There are ways to eat foods that are comforting that don't necessarily have to throw off your progress completely. There are little dupes here and there. There are little tricks to the trade, little diet hacks, and I will provide some. So I'm gonna give you a couple tips on things that I've done that have helped me out either through a diet or even just to help get in vegetables in, get all that kind of good stuff in. So, number one, creamy soups. Creamy soups are great in the winter, but the thing is that they tend to be high calories because cream equals fat. And as we know, fat per gram is 9 calories, and that shit adds up quickly. So what I do recommend is just steam your vegetables and make, they call it a velouté, which I don't know what they call it, what that's called in, you know what? No, I don't know what it's called in English. I know it as a velouté, which is basically you just steam a bunch of vegetables, add a little bit of broth to it, garlic, spices, all that stuff, and then just blend it all. And it's lighter, and it makes a really nice light soup. It's still soup, it's still hot, and it's great for you because it's got all of your vegetables and all the good stuff that you want to eat, minus all the heavy fat. People who want to make curries with coconut milk, you don't necessarily have to use full fat coconut milk. The low fat kind actually does exist, and curries are great for you. Anything that's spicy is actually apparently great for you. Spicy foods increase your metabolic rate. For those of you who are craving burgers and fries, you can make your own macro-friendly burgers. I mean, during my staycation video, you saw that I did make the burgers with the thin bun. Just get a macro-friendly bun. Make sure it's whole grain. Get extra lean ground beef if you want to avoid fat altogether, or if you want to save your fats and add a little bit of cheese, you can add a little bit of low-fat Swiss in there. And of course, your fries, well, I wouldn't recommend frying them. Sweet potato fries, those are a great option. Just oven bake them. You can sprinkle them with all kinds of spices, dress it up. It's good for you, it's tasty. Everybody wins. Shepherd's pie. Nobody said shepherd's pie is bad for you. I mean, you can get some extra lean ground beef. You can use it even with turkey. Make that mash on top out of sweet potato again. Or better yet, if you really want to go low carb, use cauliflower. Guys, cauliflower is gonna save your life. You can use cauliflower for anything. You can make pizza crust with it. You can make, I think I saw a recipe somewhere for like pretend buffalo wings if you want to go that route, but You can even do cauliflower mashed potato, garlic mash. You can add avocado in there for fats. If you wanna make it creamier, you can use cauliflower for Alfredo sauce, even if you want to. You can even substitute popcorn with cauliflower. It's amazing. You just cut them up, you like sprinkle them with a little bit of olive oil and some seasonings. I like to put turmeric and black pepper because it's good for you, it's anti-inflammatory, it's all great. Stick them in the oven for like 40-45 minutes until they get nice and crispy, and voila, you have popcorn. It's not the 2-minute microwave popcorn. It did take a little bit longer, but you have it. Look, if you're not willing to wait 40 minutes for it, then you must be really hungry, in which case you should probably have a proper meal. Zucchini acts the same way. You can use zucchini to make the pizza crust. You can use zucchini to make mashes or hash browns or whatever for your eggs. Zucchini muffins, zucchini brownies, black bean brownies. That's not to say that those aren't calorically dense, but they're delicious and it's a great source of fiber. Both cauliflower and zucchini are also a great way to add volume to anything. I use it when I'm eating oatmeal. It just makes the bowl that much bigger and you're not adding tons and tons of calories to your bowl. And it's delicious, and it's a great way to get your vegetables in. For people who are more visual, if you look up on Pinterest, they have all kinds of substitution lists, you know, if you're baking. You know, if you don't want to be using margarine or Crisco or all that kind of stuff, you want to use a healthier fat, you can replace that fat with coconut oil. You can replace it with a nut butter if you're baking. Avocado. A lot of things that require flour. You can replace regular white flour with a whole wheat or with a buckwheat flour or with quinoa flour, almond flour, depending on your macros. Look it up. There are different ways to make different recipes. Just because you read a recipe doesn't mean you have to follow it to a T. There are so many things you can do with it. I love playing with recipes and making them into my own, into something that I can eat. Last but not least, hot chocolate. A lot of us really love to enjoy, and you know, we make the mistake of going to, and I mean, I love my Starbucks, don't get me wrong, but you know, you go to any of these coffee shops and you just got a meal in a cup and you had no idea. So what I recommend, so that you don't drink all your calories away, what I like to do is I just like to boil some water, put a little bit of unsweetened cocoa in there, stir it up. You can sweeten it with either stevia or xylitol or Splenda or whatever you want. And then maybe add, if you want a little bit of creaminess, you can add a bit of cashew milk in there. But you just went from having from like a 500 calorie drink to like a 20 calorie drink. So those are my little tips and tricks just to keep you guys surviving this weather this winter, if you are experiencing a cold winter, because for all I know, I could be talking to somebody who's down south, in which case, marry me. So I'm about to start eating. What I actually showed you earlier is this little guy right here. It is a spiralizer, and it is made to create zucchini noodles. So for those of you who are pasta lovers, but want to avoid all the carbs and et cetera from pasta, you can use this guy. It's like a pencil sharpener for your zucchini, and it will make noodles. And I will show you a quick recipe that I just kind of threw together to help me with that craving, to help me eat something a little bit more comforting than a giant salad. And yeah. So just to show you really quick, I have about 150 grams of chicken. I have a whole small avocado mashed up in there with a little bit of lemon juice, half a tablespoon of olive oil, salt and pepper, and some of this guy, Johnny's garlic spread, which has pretty much nothing in it. So when I've got a little bit of garlic, you can never have too much garlic, and I'm pretty much gonna use a whole zucchini, and I will show you how the spiralizer makes it into pasta. So yeah, you pretty much just use it as a pencil sharpener, and you'll see, if you can see there, it kind of comes out like noodles. And from here on out, guys, it's really nothing fancy. I literally just kind of toss everything in. Whoops, try not to make a huge mess. I don't keep it in for too long because zucchini does get kind of mushy. So just throw it all in with your chicken. I think I'm gonna apply the sauce cold this time. Last time I did it warm and it got kind of like runny, and I kind of like the thickness of it to keep that way. So I'm basically just gonna season it with some nutritional yeast, which is kind of like Parmesan cheese, but not really, and some red pepper flakes, and I will show you the final product. And that is the final product. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will catch you guys in the next video. Sophie P Fitness, out.
Chicken, broccoli, cauliflower, and like 3 types of greens in here. Fiberlicious.